Hello everyone, it's me, Clayton. I just got back from watching The Lovebirds, starring Kumail Nanjiani and Issa Rae. Originally, this film was supposed to come out in theaters in April, which was supposed to go alongside the New Mutants movie. But due to COVID-19, this film has instead been pushed back all the way to May, and has been released by Netflix for international streaming. And honestly, I think that actually does work out for this kind of movie, considering if it came out in theaters at the time it did, it was supposed to, it probably wouldn't end up getting that much in the box office, and people wouldn't really care about it that much. But in the situation we're in, it'll probably get more exposure than most people would think it normally would. And I do think it's warranted due to it having some legitimately funny jokes and some solid performances from Kumail Nanjiani and Issa Rae. So, let's get to the story, shall we? The story is about a couple, played by Kumail Nanjiani and Issa Rae, as Gibran and Leilani, actually are a couple that aren't exactly working out. After 4 years and after some struggling ideas of how to handle their relationship, it looks like they're ready to essentially break up. That is, until a crazy incident happens that ends up with a dead man and a man claiming to be a cop running him over several times. Now thinking that the two of them are going to be convicted of murder, the two of them have to find out who the man who really committed the murder really is, and find a way to repair their relationship while also finding out about a strange cult throughout the film. So the movie essentially is a screwball romantic comedy in the same way as some crazy films from the late 2010s have been. Think of it like Date Night, only made in modern day. Just replace Steve Carell being Steve Carell with Kumail Nanjiani making pop culture references that actually do work out. Which is to say, the humor in this film is pretty hit and miss. Some jokes legitimately work, some don't, but usually what makes the jokes work is the actors' performances more so than the actual writing. That's not to say the writing is bad, it's just I'd just say there's an equal amount of jokes that don't hit rather than ones that do hit. And the ones that hit the hardest are naturally the ones that have kind of already been revealed in the trailers. That being said, there are still some funny jokes that didn't appear in the trailers, and I do think both Nanjiani and Issa Rae do work together well as a couple. They do legitimately feel like two people who have fallen in love and who are trying to rekindle a relationship while in this crazy situation. Even if the comedy does rely a little too much on expletives and some legitimately humorously choreographed, but still a little overdone comedy fight scenes. Those comedy fight scenes are a lot of fun, even if it feels like there's a few too many. And the reveal of the main villain does feel pretty cliche, even for the standards of comedies like this one. But, for people who don't mind that, you'll find the story enthralling from start to finish. It also feels like some scenes are kind of padded out, because it seems like they realized the story isn't long enough to support an hour and a half, so they had the actors do some improvisation for some of its comedy. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, which kind of goes with this scattershot level of comedy when it comes to this movie. On top of that, there are references to The Amazing Race and Eyes Wide Shut, so, as well as Hobbs and Shaw and other pop culture icons that you may or may not recognize. So your mileage may vary when it comes to those specific kinds of jokes. Overall, I think it's a fine but disposable comedy that'll probably benefit from the era of streaming and the era of coronavirus. Because if this was released in theaters, I bet not only would it have mixed reviews on the tomato meter, but it would probably pale in comparison in box office to New Mutants, but who knows when that movie's coming out. Overall, Nanjiani and Rae do make the film at least enjoyable to watch, and that's why I'm going to give The Lovebirds a 7.5 out of 10. See you next time.